How many of you are sticking with your New Year's resolution? Still got it? Anybody? I don't make New Year's resolutions. You know why? Because I'm not a quitter. I just don't make them. But what's the big one? Eat less, lose some weight, exercise more, I do a pretty good job of that already. My husband and I, we try to eat pretty healthy. We stay active. We hit the gym 3 or 4 nights a week. In fact, this time of year, we take some time off because the gym is overrun with all the resoluters, and we kind of wait them out. So about now, they'll be quitting. We'll go back, So I'm actually going to be 44 in 2 weeks, and my doctor says I'm in the best shape of my life. She said, Stacy, you keep it up, and you could easily live to be 100. I'm like, yeah, that was cool. Well, my financial advisor, on the other hand, he said, well, you better not. You can barely afford to live to 60 at the rate you're going, so I appreciated that second opinion. Yeah, earlier this month, I had my phone call conversation with him where we review my retirement account because, I don't want to brag, but when you make the kind of money I make, you don't get a face-to-face meeting in his office. You get a phone call, a short one. But up until last year, I was still getting a text message, so apparently the economy is doing well. Nevertheless, I've not saved nearly enough money for retirement. He said, basically, your only hope is to die young or plan to work for 86 more years before you retire. I'm like, wow. That's pretty bleak. You are my financial advisor. Do you have any advice for me, maybe? And he said, well, start smoking. Like a lot. So I'm like, 86 years, huh? Well, that seems like a lot, but when you break it down, it's really just over 31,000 days. I know because I have a little tear-off calendar on my desk at work, and every day I get one day closer, So, yeah, I have a day job still. Believe it or not, I don't make a living doing this, so I work as an office manager, and though I try to stay healthy as an office manager, I sit at a desk 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So it's hard, Doctors suggest that sitting is the new smoking. That is to say that sitting as much as we do is just as dangerous as smoking. In fact, if you think about it, the smokers are probably healthier because at least they get up once an hour and go outside. But I don't do all that because I'm particularly afraid to die or anything. I'm not ready yet. I've got some things on my bucket list I would still like to do. I want to take an Alaskan cruise someday, and I would love to go to the Holy Land. And then this one's out there a little bit, but I do have this dream of possibly paying off my student loans before I die. Life goals, So I'm not afraid to die, but you know what I am scared of? An open casket. That idea scares me to death. I'll give you a little background here. Been married 22 years, and I've tried to keep some of the mystery and romance alive in our marriage, but in 22 years, he has seen me at my worst, PMS, stomach bugs, giving birth, Mondays, But I have managed to keep some of my maintenance grooming habits a secret. He thinks I'm just naturally gorgeous, but the truth is there's a lot of work that goes into this. So if I would die suddenly and unexpectedly, I need someone I can trust to, clear my browser history, obviously. And maybe camp out on my front porch for about 2 weeks and intercept any Amazon packages that might still be en route. I see no reason in further upsetting my husband when he's already grieving so much. But back to the open casket. I also need you to show up at my funeral a little early and maybe bring a pair of tweezers. I just can't get that image out of my head. I'm laying there in my casket. My friend's looking down at me. Oh, she looks so natural, doesn't she? They always say that. I don't know what that means, but yeah, so natural. She didn't have a goatee last time I saw her, though. Any idea when that happened? And when I lie flat on my back, what little bosom I have just completely disappears. So maybe, prop me up with a couple pillows, if you would. Oh, and my eyebrows. Just make sure they didn't get completely washed off. When I was in high school, the teen magazines convinced us we had to tweeze them to a little line. And what they don't tell you is that eventually they do quit growing back. So, they grow back, but right here.